In the teaching of reading, teachers use specific classroom approaches to develop in the students the knowledge and techniques to read with as much efficiency and understanding as possible. An approach that is commonly adopted in Malaysia is text-based reading. Let's now look at what text-based reading is and what it entails. Text-based reading focuses on understanding specific texts as closely as possible. During these lessons, students employ various reading strategies to make sense of the specific texts that they are reading. This is different from skill-based reading, which focuses on particular reading skills, and students will work on different texts. Many reading experts have recommended specific ways or stages to carry out text-based reading lessons. Let's find out what they are. To teach reading well, it is recommended that teachers carry out reading lessons that contain 3 stages: pre-reading, while reading, and post-reading. These are the stages of thinking that occur before, during, and after the actual reading. To help students understand the text they are reading, teachers can stimulate students' thinking through reading activities that are specific to each stage. Let's now look at these activities in more detail. Click on the diagram to learn more about reading activities that are specific to each stage of a reading lesson. Pre-reading activities serve to prepare students for the text that they are going to read. This is where students' interest towards the text is developed and the purpose of reading established. Pre-reading activities should not only heighten students' interest, but also activate the appropriate schemata. This is to allow better comprehension of the text to take place. Click on the button to view guiding questions for pre-reading. Now that we know what pre-reading activities are for, let's look at some possible activities that teachers can implement in the classroom. Click on each letter to look at possible pre-reading activities. While reading activities are activities that students can do as they read. At this stage, students work on the content and the language of the text. This involves finding out the main ideas of the text, monitoring their comprehension, and adjusting their reading strategies. Comprehension is therefore at the sentence, paragraph, and discourse level. Let's look at some possible while reading activities that teachers can implement in the classroom. The activities should help students to respond not just cognitively, but also personally, emotionally, and imaginatively. Click on each letter to look at possible while reading activities. Post-reading activities provide opportunities for students to review what has been read and evaluate their understanding of it. The main purpose of the post-reading stage is to enable the students to recall what they have read, to relate it to what they already know, and to react to it to form their own opinion. This allows them to gain an overall understanding of the text. Click on the button to view the purposes of post-reading activities. Now that we know what post-reading activities are for, let's look at some possible activities that teachers can implement in the classroom. Click on each letter to look at possible post-reading activities. This module discusses text-based lessons and explains the different stages of the lesson in detail. These stages are pre-reading, while reading, and post-reading. It also provides possible activities for each stage of reading. A major problem that is faced by many L2 readers is the lack of vocabulary knowledge. Since this knowledge is necessary for proficient reading, teachers need to provide opportunities for the students to learn and practice vocabulary skills. This can be done during skill-based reading, where students work on different texts to learn specific reading skills. To begin, let us look at the two types of vocabulary, receptive and productive. Receptive vocabulary is vocabulary that readers recognize but do not use when they speak or write. Productive vocabulary, on the other hand, is vocabulary that they know well and use in speaking and writing. Through appropriate strategies, teachers can develop students' vocabulary from being receptive to productive. Let's now look at the relationship between vocabulary knowledge and reading fluency. To read fluently, the reader must have sufficient vocabulary knowledge. This knowledge directly contributes to automatic recognition of words and prevents the reader from the slow, letter-by-letter and syllable-by-syllable sounding of words. Thus, accurate and automatic word recognition skills are prerequisites for fluent reading. Click on the button to view video clips.